All right, hey everybody, John here with Empowered Strength. I'm here with Kelly. She's going to be going and doing some bag over bar, which is basically equivalent to doing like a stone or Atlas stones like you see in a strongman competition over, it could be like a yoke or some other kind of implement here. We're just doing this for demonstration purposes, and we do use this real similar setup. In here, actually, we would probably secure the bars down a little bit more with like a band or some other way of securing it. But for our purposes and with just the bag, it's okay if it hits this barbell as well. You obviously want to be careful if it's an Atlas stone or something else, covering the bar, using some other kind of setup or putting it up on a platform. But I just want to show you this here and how we do things generally in our gym. We have a 100-pound bag, and Kelly's gonna do a 50-pound bag here as well. So let's just start with the 50-pound bag. So she can go through all the stages with picking, lapping, and then she's just gonna be able to explode up and kind of roll that bag up her body and slightly extend. She's not trying to go into her lower back and get in a position where she's not safe for her back or risks kind of having that bag fall over her as well. So let's just watch her once here. So hands over the bag and really squeezing and bringing that over. Depending on the bag, it's kind of a little bit of a Rubik's Cube, a little bit of a puzzle. One other thing too, before we start, this is kind of awkward and we've all been through this first. So height-wise, this is about her upper abs, her xiphoid process right here, and then her collarbone. Somewhere in here is like kind of a nice sweet spot. Definitely over our waist height. Some of the traditional stone loading kind of stuff is about waist height or hip height. We'll have a plinth and guys used to load those up for the manhood stones of strength, and that's kind of a cool historic thing. So anything over hip height with a really heavy stone, sandbag, whatever is considered, you know, success in some sense. And usually no higher than about collarbones. Otherwise, like this gets too high, you get too much extension, and you're basically almost like having to throw the bag over or the stone, whatever it is. So that's kind of that nice training effect sweet spot. You could also just be lapping this thing and bringing it back up for reps and not actually bringing it over the apparatus or whatever that may be to, or bringing it up onto something. It just to allow her to have a training effect to do that. So actually let's do a couple of those ones with that. Then we want to talk about how we set up in front of the bar as well. Okay, so forget about the bar. Imagine she doesn't have a bar there. She's just out lifting her sandbag and wants to do some more explosive work here. So generally, we'll go here and she's just gonna explode up, keeping her back pretty straight. We don't wanna let things tip forward. There is a style where she can rock her hips up and kind of explode like an Olympic lift, kind of a hybrid there. So it's hard to compare it to anything else like with a barbell or a kettlebell. It's its own thing to a point too. So she can have her hips come up a little bit first and then explode. You want to do that in one nice smooth motion. The downfall of that is it tends to, the bag will slip down and it'll feel a little bit more like it's coming away from you that way. So I don't personally like that as well. I think it's a little bit harder on the back. It's more advanced kind of thing too. When you're connected to it and it's lighter weight, it feels fine. As it gets heavier, I tend to want to just stay as upright as I can, hold my position and just stand up tall. Slightly extend from your T-spine, from your middle back. You don't want to extend and throw yourself into your low back ever. We want to be really careful with that because we don't want to fall back over ourselves if it's really heavy. We want to just kind of preserve everything, get more motion from our T-spine is a good thing and not from our low back. Our head goes up kind of like an Olympic lift or triple extension up onto our toes a little bit too. So let's talk about the setup here again for a second. So setup wise, she wants to be slightly out of the way, hands probably touching the bar where she gets a little bit of a cue. Her head, she can either bring her head out of the way and tip her chin down a little bit. She can turn her head to the side, or she can just be a little bit farther out away from the bar if she's not comfortable with that yet. This isn't a competition type of thing, although it could be if we wanted to load this for speed. Then we'll show you guys with a heavier bag as well. So you can do a couple different things there and lap that sucker first. Over the top or squeeze right in here. We just don't want the hands underneath there for obvious reasons. We could smash our hands on the bar or if it's a platform. So we want to get over the top or hug around there and then pop over. Let's go a little faster into that so we can see full speed. And forward into that. So if she's out a little ways, she might have to take kind of a half step in or kind of jump into it a little bit. Ideally, she's just able to fling the bag up and over, again, depending on the training effect, and get rid of some of the dogma, I think, that exists with making it purely for a strongman competition versus the training effect versus just something fun, kind of performance oriented. So there's a nice hybrid sweet spot I think we can find with all that. So I wouldn't load this quite as heavy usually, unless again, it was something for competition or something on a more extreme kind of edge of things. If we want to get that training effect, we want to just explode up and imagine like she's going to try to throw the bar or throw the bag over this bar kind of thing. She wants to be that explosive, a nice hybrid of a Olympic lifting, nice simplified way to do something like an Olympic lift or a throwing type of event where she can explode that up, and I could bring that back to her, for example, too, and feed her a few reps. Usually I wouldn't do this over 5 reps or so. Sometimes it's just single reps, and you get a nice little natural kind of break in the action, almost like training heavy singles, multiple reps from the ground with Olympic lifts, that kind of stuff. So let's try the 100-pounder actually once. Clear that out of the way. And again, I could be bringing that back to her. We're just going to do single reps for this demonstration purpose here. So you can find that sweet spot and make sure, imagine that if she doesn't have to, she's not even going to touch this bar. She's going to really explode up into that position. A little workout, just getting in position here. There we go, yep. Nice, explode up. Yep, so that's a good example too. It's just getting the edge, she got a little bit close to it, kind of clip the bar on the way up. But each rep, each implement's a little bit different too. And she's really just trying to explode up over that. This would be a good height for her for most kind of overall training effect. Could be a little bit lower with a heavier bag. This is basically her body weight, by the way. So this is a really heavy load for anybody. So pretty impressive there. So thanks guys. This is, again, example of how we're gonna load something over a bar with our implement. Again, sandbag here, it could be an Atlas stone, it could be a natural stone as well. So hope that helps, and there you have it.